What's up, everybody? Axe Wizard here. Back working on my game some more in Reality 3092. You might notice something a little bit different. I'm using Godot 4. I started porting my game from Godot 3.4 to Godot 4.03, and I hit a stumbling block. Let's go through some of the errors that I already encountered, though. So these are the ones that I currently ran into that I remembered to fix. So, could not find type file in current scope. So one big thing that was a big change. Before we were doing like file.new, well now it's file access. And I can just do file access.open path with file access read, and then it will return null if it's not able to open it. So this streamlined it quite a bit. So I had to fix that, just convert file to file access. And yeah, so that's what I did there. Also, I had to fix this one here, trying to assign value of type transform 3D to a variable of type dictionary. I also had to update my star system mapper tool and recreate my file because I was just exporting to a .txt, and I was just writing a Godot 3 dictionary to that file, and then trying to load that txt file and then loading that in as a dictionary in Godot 4 does not work. So I had to redo that. That was one big change. If I ended up just basically recreating it in the star system mapper tool, if I had a lot more star systems and I didn't want to lose that, I probably would have just exported it to JSON and then just imported it as I would have just exported it as JSON, and then from there I would have updated the star system mapper tool, imported that as JSON, and then exported it to the TXT just like normal. But it was quicker for me to just quickly redo it, and that didn't take too long. Another thing we did was there's no constructor of string. So when I was doing conversions, it's no longer string. It's just lowercase str. It's just str. So that was a little didgeridoo there, a little tweak. Another little change I ran into was invalid operand for the type of vector 2 for unary operator not. So before I might have had a vector 2, and then I might have done like not vector 2. So for example, if not vector 2, what that used to mean in Godot 3 is that vector 2, the zero value of that vector would evaluate to false when using it in a comparison. That's not the case anymore. So I had to explicitly state, hey, if vector 2 equals with the comparison operator, double equal sign, vector 2.0, then that was a small change. So nothing too big there. Another big change was tweens. So they completely got rid of the tween node, but now you just create a tween by saying, hey, get tree, create tween. So it's not unknown. It's not a node that you add anymore. You just dynamically create them, and then for your tween, you just call tween.tween property, and then that will start the tween, I guess. So yeah. So let me run the game, and I'll show you the other big changes I have yet to overcome. The big thing right off the bat is glow. So you can see it looks kind of similar to how it did before. My Reality 3092 is now no longer here, and it used to be bigger. So UI is a pretty big thing that changed. So you can see right off the bat that glow no longer works like it did before. You can see my really ugly star here doesn't have that cool glow effect that it had anymore. Particles also had to change too. So I had to adjust all the particles, because for some reason it changed them. And so what ended up happening is all the particles were facing the wrong way, and I had to fix that. So that was one big thing. You might notice that the UI looks a little bit different. So there's no longer color here, so I still have to delve into that. But if we go to this UI is completely borked, so I gotta fix that. So UI and glow are the two big things that have stopped me from considering this port a success. And honestly, I'm not sure if I'm ready to go over to Godot 4 yet because of the glow. Now, before, how I was able to handle glow is that in my main node, my world environment, I set it back to canvas. It was set to keep during the update for some reason. That didn't work at all, so I changed it to canvas like it was. I set my energy multiplier and the rest of my levels here for glow to what it really was before I updated. And I also set the blend mode to additive. And it's not the same. And I think a big reason is because, let's go back to 2D here. So there's this HDR threshold here. Now I guess apparently Godot 3 used HDR for 2D glow, and I guess for Godot 4 they changed the entire glow system, so HDR, you might want to set it to be lower. So I can crank up the intensity, but the biggest change that's happening now is that it used to be that any nodes that had their modulation within the standard range, so anything 255 or below for all the values, it used to be unaffected by glow. And if you wanted something to glow, you would just crank the self-modulate to raw values and have them higher than the normal values. Now everything just glows regardless of whatever you do. So I was able to implement something kind of like what I had, but it didn't just affect only my star, it affected literally everything. Like you see me changing this stuff here, like you see the entire background glowing. That's not what I want. Yeah. So thankfully, before I began this port, I of course saved all my progress. And how I did that was, if we go back to my code here, you can see that on my main branch, this is all the stuff I did with Godot 3. And then I created a new branch. So if we go to my branches here, I have this Godot 4 conversion branch. And this is 14 commits ahead of main. So let me zoom in a little bit here. So these are the various things I'm doing. I'm committing the initial changes from when you initially convert the project. I replaced the deprecated file with file access. I fixed the old string conversions. I can no longer use Boolean comparison with vector 2. Updated tween, updated star system map, fixed thruster particles. Export syntax was making a problem. And also for some reason when Godot did the conversion, it converted anything that had the string light to light 3D. So that borked all of my weapons, because if we go to my let's go to auto loads and weapons here, you can see I have all these things here, like Synthocracy light cannon, Synthocracy light cannon turret, light beam laser. So all of these were changed to like light 3D, which is of course not what I wanted or had set. So it broke all of my weapons basically. So that was fun. So I had to switch all that back. Yeah, fun stuff there. So I fixed all that. Pause menu I had to fix as well, because it defaulted a lot of my stuff back to, so for example, Canvas UI. In this process mode here, it was set to when paused, which is not what I had it set. Before, Godot 3 only gave you 3 options. It was inherit, stop, or process. Well, now there's 5. So you can your process mode is always, or you can inherit. So I didn't want it to only work when it was paused, because then it never came up. So I wanted this to work always, whether it's paused or not. So I had to make that change. I had to update the weapon slots because the export, the syntax of how you export variables now changed. So before I was able to just do export, and in parentheses I was able to specify the expected type and then the possible values, and I could break those out over multiple lines. Now I can't break those out over multiple lines. It has to be one big ass long line, or else Godot is like, unexpected end of file. So yeah, so for code readability, that sucks. I'm not too happy about that change. But I got it working, and then of course I had to go through and reset all of the weapons for my ships, because it got set to that it was looking for a Synthocracy light 3D cannon instead of a light cannon. Yeah. So I fixed that. And then trying to get Glow how it worked, and yeah. On top of that, no matter what I add to my git ignore file, anything in this Godot / editor keeps getting committed, even though I've told it to be ignored. It keeps adding all these Godot editor things to my repo, and it doesn't need to be there. So I'll have to figure that out and clean that out at some point. But honestly, I think right now I'm just going to go back to Godot 3 because I don't... After playing the game with glow effects working the way that I wanted them to, going back to having no glow sucks. I also don't want everything to glow. I only wanted certain things to glow, and now I can't seem to specify that. I even tried going through and like lowering the values of like all the other sprites. It didn't work. So, and after researching it, it seems like glow is kind of still up in the air for 2D projects in Godot 4. So, kind of a regression. Not too impressed with that, to be honest. But I understand, after reading their issues and stuff like that, why they had to cut it out. Because it would have delayed Godot 4 for a long time, and there were a lot of other people who wanted Godot 4 that didn't necessarily use glow in 2D environments. So I get why they did it. It sucks. And I also have to redo all my UI, which is not a bad thing. My UI needed to be redone anyway, because I was learning how UI works in Godot. And Godot 4, from my understanding, has lots of UI improvements. So I don't know if I should just ignore the glow stuff right now and wait it out and hope that it gets added in a future Go release or a future Godot release, and just enjoy all the other benefits I get, or if I should just go back to Godot 3 because everything still works the way that I want it to. And I haven't run into any scenario where Godot 3 wasn't enough for my little 2D top-down space adventure game. So I think I might just go back to Godot 3. I tried to port this to Godot 4, and it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to... The glow is the big deal breaker for me, because I want to have that in my game. I think the game looks way better with it. And if I can't do it in the same way, or even a way, without affecting everything, I don't want everything to glow, I just want certain things, then Godot 4, unfortunately, is not a good fit for this project. So, yeah. Other than that, I like Godot 4. There's a lot of new features, like the UI, I think, looks a little cleaner. The font's different. I'm not sure if I like it or not yet, but it's got a different font. I'm sure I could go through and I could change that, but I had to redo a lot of my stuff. So even like project settings, I had to redo my whole input map. And you can see I've got this testing faction fight that's unset, because I don't need to even use that anymore. I could probably get rid of that, to be honest. But yeah, I had to redo all my keybinds because they were just all unset. So that's fun. And yeah. So I'm going to keep a Godot 4, obviously. I might use it for some other projects, but yeah. I'm not too happy with it. I don't know what I want to do with it yet. I don't know if I just want to keep on trucking with Godot 4 or if I just want to revert back to Godot 3. But anyway, I wanted to share my thoughts on the conversion process, and it's probably going to be a while before my next update on the game. I don't have much time to work on it anymore, unfortunately. At least for the time being. I'm not giving up on it. Don't take this the wrong way. I still fully intend to finish this game. The series is called Start to Finish, not Start Till I Get Too Busy. But I can't dedicate time to it right now. So I'm at a point now where I'm gonna wait and see. I'm gonna think on it, I guess. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. If you have any ideas for working with Go or Glow in 2D environments for Godot 4, let me know. I haven't been able to find anything online so far, and even some of the video tutorials I've watched are people like, oh yeah, Glow is even better because now everything glows. I don't want everything to glow, damn it. I just want certain things that I could specify before, and now I can't do that. So that's fun. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in whatever video I make next.